Well, Michael, tell us all about Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead is it's fundamentally a co-op game. The basic premise is you and your buddies try to survive the zombie apocalypse. So the backstory we're keeping vague, but there's some sort of illness that's spread across the world and turned almost everyone into ravening, psychotic zombies. And the backstory is important only to sort of set the stage of how horrible everything is and how much it's important to rely on your friends.
Because it's a zombie game, I mean.
Right.
It's all about the zombies.
It's all about the zombies. Actually, so that's interesting that you say that, right? Because it does seem at first glance to be all about the zombies. And it's a ton of fun to, mow down the hordes of, ravenous zombies coming at you. But really, in this case, it's a framework for cooperation. It's a framework to show how much you have to depend. Like, you cannot win, you cannot succeed at this game alone. You have to rely on your friends.
So how do you feel you're changing the genre of zombie games? Because there are quite a few zombie games out there. What do you think you're bringing to the genre?
Right. Well, there's two main things with Left 4 Dead that we're emphasizing. The first one, again, is cooperation, because there's a lot of games that are cooperative and that you and I could say play in the game together, but very few games that actually push on cooperation, like rely on cooperation. And then there's many different attacks in this game where the zombies can completely incapacitate you, and you're helpless unless some friend helps you. Right. So that's the first thing, is cooperation. The second thing is procedural population. So we have this thing called the AI director, and every time you play the game, the zombies are going to be in different places, the bosses will happen at different times. You can never predict exactly what's going to happen. So it's a fresh experience. We did a lot of work on Counter-Strike. We worked on Counter-Strike for 4 or 5 years, and we really, that's the roots of this game. So we want this to be a game that you can just say, hey, let's play some Left 4 Dead with your buddies, you get together and pick your favorite campaign and go, and it's fun the millionth time that you've played that.
Yeah, we saw the demonstration with Gabe Newell. He showed off that if you're really beat down, your group is low on health and so on, you get a little different encounter. Will it be? Don't you feel that maybe you're cheating out some of those guys on like the bigger, better things, or?
So we have no shortage of intense moments in Left 4 Dead, right? But the thing is, to have what makes an exciting game is not just constant onslaught, and also if everything was empty, it would be boring, right? So you really want those really really highs of like, oh my God, right? But then you also need to have moments of like just quiet, calm, where you can sort of regather yourself. And that's primarily what the director is doing in that case, right? So he's monitoring the intensity of each of the survivors, and if we detect that the survivors have just been hammered on for a while, right, then we back things off, right? But that doesn't mean they're not going to get hammered on again, right? They definitely will in this game. So the main thing is just to make sure that it doesn't burn you out and it doesn't get boring, that it stays dramatic and exciting for the entire experience.
What are the challenges of developing both for PC and console?
Well, actually, with the 360, it's been really, it works really well because the development environments are very similar. There are definitely challenges, right? There are different strengths and weaknesses on the various platforms, but what we've found especially with Left 4 Dead is that working on both of those platforms simultaneously just makes the game tighter overall.
So it's actually a benefit to you?
Yeah, I would say in this case it's definitely a benefit.
So when can we look forward to playing Left 4 Dead?
November 4th on PC and Xbox 360.
Thank you very much for your time.
You bet, thank you.
Thank you.